Greetings, my friends, and welcome. It's Rush Limbaugh, and this is the Excellence in Broadcasting Network. Telephone number 800-282-2882. The email address, lrushmo@eibnet.com. I've been asked if I might want to reassess my situation and my explanation of NASA rescheduling the shuttle launches. I said they're going to move them back after November 1st because all the sea turtle eggs are being moved from the Gulf Coast to Cape Canaveral. And a launch might, sea turtle season ends October 31st. So, it's been suggested to me that NASA might be postponing its shuttle launches based on what we learned yesterday from the NASA administrator. One of his primary purposes is outreach to the Muslim community. It has been suggested to me that NASA might have postponed its shuttle launches so that they could be sure that they would not have astronauts in space during Ramadan. Which this year is August 11th to September the 9th. Well, it's a valid question, Snurdly. If NASA is going to be used to reach out to Muslims, I mean, obviously we would not want astronauts in space during Ramadan. So it's a possibility. My email today. I'm watching television. Everybody's outraged over the appointment, the recess appointment of this guy Berwick, Donald Berwick, to be the Medicaid administrator for health care. And all over television and the news, show prep here, they're all upset that this guy, well, people on our side, are all upset this guy's been recess appointed. And I look at this, and why is anybody shocked at anything Obama does? Why are they shocked at anybody he picks to head up a cabinet? This NASA guy, he misspoke. No, he didn't. Obama's backed the guy up. Everybody in this administration is handpicked by Obama or people of like mind. This is not an accident. Obama's not some innocent waif running around there being sabotaged and undermined by a bunch of radicals in his administration. He is the radical undermining the country, and he's got his buddies appointed to do the work. AP, happy as they can be about this. President Obama intends to use the congressional recess to bypass the Senate and appoint Dr. Donald Berwick, an expert on patient care who has drawn fire from the Republicans. His job is to oversee Medicare and Medicaid. The appointment was made today with lawmakers out of town for the annual 4th of July break. The decision means that Berwick can assume the post of administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid without undergoing confirmation hearings in the Senate. Now, the argument is, well, yeah, recess appointments have been used before, and Republicans have done it, and this is true. And one of the cases that the defenders of Obama are citing today, John Bolton. Well, John Bolton was not a policymaker. John Bolton also went through a Senate confirmation hearing. We remember it well. They tarred and feathered the guy. But people looking for decency, fairness, whatever for the best of the country from this administration, it better wise up real fast. It's not for the betterment of the country. Everything Obama does is political. Now, who is this guy? Let's go to the audio sound bites. This Berwick guy, this is a sound bite from 2008, July 1st in London, at the National Health Service Conference, celebrating 60 years of England's socialized medicine, which, of course, is a disaster. And this is what Donald Berwick said. This is just a little portion of his remarks.
Sick people tend to be poorer, and that poor people tend to be sicker. And that any health care funding plan that is just, equitable, civilized, and humane must redistribute wealth from the richer among us to the poorer and the less fortunate. Excellent health care is by definition redistributional. Britain, you chose well.
Okay, so we've got a socialist, we've got a Marxist, we've got a redistributionist, who's now the head administrator for Medicare and Medicaid. So, what's out of character here? What's so shocking? What is so shocking that the regime would recess appoint this guy without any confirmation hearings? What's so shocking? The regime is who it is. Obama is who he is. I've had to marvel today. So many people on our side of the aisle shocked and outraged. Why? The time to be shocked and outraged was during the campaign. The time to beat this guy was during the campaign. Now it's too late. You're not going to stop this guy from making his recess appointments. You're not going to stop this guy redistributing wealth. And this, we're well down the pack here. We're well down the road. It's a little bit, all this crying and caterwauling is a little bit too late now. I mean, you might want to say, well, the American people need to be informed and educated about this. Well, they will be soon enough when this stuff gets implemented. Try next year. Try next January when all these tax increases hit, and all the rationing for health care hits. There's no way to stop it. It's going to happen. And then people will get their fill of it and they'll find out what it was they elected and what they voted for. But Obama's totally within character here. What he's doing here is exactly predictable. He's being precisely who he is. The fact that he instructs his NASA guy to reach out to Muslims is totally who Obama is. There should be no shock. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any anger or any outrage. There shouldn't be any surprise over this. But Rush, he was so articulate. He was so brilliant. He was so smart. What does that matter? Let's redefine smart. How smart is it to destroy the United States economy? What kind of an IQ do you need for that? What does intelligence matter here? How smart is it if it's diabolical in its intentions? We want to be satisfied with the notion a guy's smart. This AP story is amazing. Republicans have indicated they're prepared to oppose Berwick over comments he's made on rationing of medical care and other matters. Democrats want to avoid a nasty confirmation fight that could reopen the health care debate. And of course, they don't want to reopen the health care debate because it's massively unpopular. Although the Democrats tell us how popular it is, 60% of the American people want it repealed. 41% don't think it will be, but 60% want it repealed. Berwick was nominated in April. No confirmation hearing had even been scheduled. And there's a reason for that. The Democrats don't want the country hearing about this guy. The Democrats don't want this guy speaking in public hearings, just like they didn't want Elena Kagan to tell everybody who she really is. I mean, we have an administration at one point, one time they're wide open and out in the open and telling us who they are, not hiding anything. And then the next moment, they don't want us to know what they're really up to. But it doesn't take a whole lot of intelligence to know what they're really up to. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm in a foul mood here today, but I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who should have gotten it before the election, who are only now starting to realize the disaster that we've got. It's too late. November is the first chance we've got. The government suing Arizona, and you know what? In this lawsuit, they're not even citing profiling. All the public reasons for opposing, not even citing that. The supremacy clause, it's all political. They're not doing this for the sake of immigration or the federal government maintaining its control. If they really cared about states and cities violating federal law, they'd shut down every sanctuary city. They'd shut down San Francisco and every other one that welcomes illegal immigrants and puts them on the welfare rolls. But they're not serious about that. What they're serious about is upending the country. What they're serious about is getting even with this country over its successes and its power. What they're about is redistributing wealth. The medical, here, listen to it again. This is the guy running Obamacare, and he's recess appointed. There's nothing anybody can do, and this is Obama. This is a clone. Same thing with Kagan. When this guy speaks, you may as well think and realize these are Obama's words. Same thing with the NASA guy. Listen to this again.
Sick people tend to be poorer, and that poor people tend to be sicker. And that any health care funding plan that is just, equitable, civilized, and humane must redistribute wealth from the richer among us to the poorer and the less fortunate.
Right, that's exactly.
Excellent health care is by definition redistribution.
Yeah, not just
Britain,
healthcare.
you chose well.
Everything else is redistributionist. Everything is going to be redistributed. Everything. Not just health care. Everything.